Welcome to All Things Alaska Pier. Oh my gosh, I love it. We have a pet with us tonight, where we talk about all the movers and shakers in peer support throughout our state. I'm your host, Jen, and today's guest is Ryen Richards with the Connect Tribe. Did I say that right? I was blessed to meet this gal late last year and continue to cross paths with her based on our joint passion surrounding those in recovery like ourselves. So welcome, Ryen. I am going to give you the floor and let you share what you do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen. It's an honor to be here. Boy. So I am a person with lived experience. I have lived experience in possibly every type of trauma that you can think of. Domestic violence, substance use, racial acts of violence, homelessness, whatever you can think of, I've lived through it. And, while we're going through those things, it's really hard to think of anything else, right? And so we create this identity inside of ourselves that this is it, this is who we are. This is how life is. And, several moments come up where we think we're not going to make it, and then we make it, right? And then once we get to a certain point, we get to look back and notice all the little things that we did, all the action that we took in those serious moments we really thought we weren't going to make it out of, and thrive on those, right? And then as peer workers, we get to share those moments with other people that are facing similar situations. And that for me is the most important part of life. I am Inupiaq mixed. I was born in Kikiktagruk, or Kotzebue, as a lot of people know. Mixed Native people in Alaska, I feel like, face a lot of unique challenges, and it's like we're almost born into alcohol abuse, right? We're just born into these different kinds of traumas that some other people don't face, but really a lot of people in our nation today face these things. It started with targeted populations, and it's kind of spread to everyone. And being a peer worker, we kind of get to dissect these things from the inside out and prevent them from being passed on to our future generations. My role with Connect Tribe, I've been with Connect Tribe since October 2019, and I started out as a peer navigator. And what that means to my community is that anyone that came to Connect Tribe, I helped them navigate through resources that I utilized when I had needs, and resources that I wish I had when I was going through some things, right? And so I made meaningful connections with a lot of people in our community. And then I also had the honor of making meaningful connections with so many providers in our community. And I get to connect those people with needs to those people with services. And then really just kind of sit back and watch them do their own work, right? Help them plan their own goals and watch them accomplish their own goals, and just support them along the way. And that to me is what it's like to be a human, and I just had the opportunity to get paid for it. And so that was really awesome. My background before that, I sold cars for almost 12 years, and it's a different kind of helping people, and it's not so rewarding. Boy, the paychecks were nice, but that's about it. And so most recently I have switched so my grant ended when I was the peer navigator. I actually did a lot of case management. Towards the end of the grant, I was the only person working under it. And so I did all of the case management, provided transportation, did the peer navigating, life skills instructor, and I wore a lot of hats, and it was really rewarding. And, there was some tragedies that happened, that are just come with the job. And there were some great success stories that I got to witness, and it was really amazing. As of January, I've switched over. Connect Tribe actually opened a behavioral health center, Bento Wellness Center. And I think we're having our official opening to the public in June. So right now we're really mostly doing telehealth and building our program from the ground up. I'm the only peer worker in this organization. And so, I really got, yeah, I work on a team with a clinician, a couple clinicians, behavioral health aide. We don't have a case manager yet, so I step in and do some case management and provide transportation again, and that's all right. And that's right. So, and then I get to do peer support. The coolest part about my unique position is that, in a lot of behavioral health settings and peer support, there's like a stigma, right? And it's really hard to kind of fit those puzzle pieces together, right? When they were two separate puzzles to begin with. And now we're trying to make one big picture and the pieces just don't quite fit. The best part about this is that we built this program from the ground up. I got to make our peer support employee handbook. I'm currently creating some, like, in the beginning of my peer support journey, I didn't really understand. Remember my biggest concern was Medicaid. Like, how do I become Medicaid billable, Jen? That's my question, not how do I provide effective peer support. I wanted to know all of the operational things. Yeah. Because I knew that I was going into a clinical setting and I didn't understand any of that. I didn't understand proper documentation. I knew how to be there for people. I didn't know how to document it. And I definitely didn't know how to bill for it. I didn't even know this was a billable thing, and like I said before, it was just my way of being human, and I had the opportunity to get paid for it. So I'm currently creating some forms that are kind of just spreadsheets showing Medicaid billable services that are peer support, what that might look like, and then what necessary documentation might go along with that, so hopefully it'll streamline the process for our new peer workers as they come in. So being able to do this and have this little bit of breathing space before we really open up has been just really cool. And creating this program from the inside out has been really cool, so that all the puzzle pieces do fit together. So that's my current journey. I can't remember what the other questions were.
That's okay. So what kind of things do you foresee coming out of this? I told you guys last year when I was training you, I literally wrote a nasty gram to my leadership and was like, I'm not impressed. I'm the only one here. What do we do? And they're like, you have fun with that.
Right.
They totally supported me. And so now here you are. I swear it's like you're doing the same thing. So the Connect Tribe, remind me your location.
We are in Palmer.
Okay. So
we're in between Palmer and Wasilla, but I think it's the Palmer city limits. Yeah. Mat-Su Valley service area.
So the Valley. Okay. And so who are going to be your connecting contact points? Like, are you going to be working anyway with Set Free Alaska, or kind of helping integrate those kinds of things and making sure that bridge is happening? Or what are you hoping to see?
Yeah. So this is really exciting for me because of all those connections that I made as a peer navigator, right? Yeah. Now I get to rekindle those relationships in a whole new way and actually create referral forms, and work with these organizations back and forth. As we don't do substance use, which to me is like, you know, it's kind of like
They kind of
all
go
comes
together.
right. It kind of all goes together. But that's okay because we have other resources for that out here, right? And we get to, you know, our clinicians can help with the mental health stuff that's going on, and our peer support providers can work with peer support providers at, you know, substance use facilities, and we get to work together, right? And so earlier in our conference, Justin Pendergrass with My House said something really powerful, and it was that you can
Love
never
it.
have too much support, right? And you can't, and it's so true. And so in our position with a behavioral health clinic, basically, we get to work side by side with other facilities here in the Valley and provide additional support, right? So I just feel like we're kind of in a really unique position. There's not a lot of behavioral health facilities that provide peer support. And the effectiveness of, you know, like a therapist's main goal, when they get a new participant, new client, is their end game, right? Like how soon and how, you know, how can we best get to the end result so you don't need us anymore, right? And peer support is really what enhances their goal. Yeah. And so we get to support these people along their journeys, their therapy journeys, and these things to really help them become self-sufficient, you know, and take ownership of their lives, you know, so they don't need these services anymore. So they have all of these abilities inside instead of constantly reaching for external tools. No, these abilities are inside of you now. Now you have them, and now you don't need these services. And now you can help other people, you know? So I think it's really exciting that now we can, you know, utilize all of those connections that I made before with all of these other service providers and just refer people back and forth, you know? So that's where I really see it going. I'm really looking forward to more than one peer support on the team, you know, and as we expand, that's really what it's headed towards. So that's really exciting.
Yeah. AKBH is doing the same thing now. We're actually leaning towards putting peers in the place of mental health associates. And instead of just the basic high school background, you know, having someone with lived experience, and making that the big push is bringing peers in at that level.
That's so amazing. We're coming so far, you know, and there's not a lot of that in the Valley. And I'm so proud of Anchorage because it's becoming more and more the norm. And that's what I want to see. It should have already been normal. And now we get to see that it is normal, right?
So with your community, what would you like to share with our listeners about how to get involved, offer their support, be a fellow change maker?
So there are a lot of things are on Zoom these days. You know, there's the Circle of Peers that Ionia puts on. That's kind of a statewide support group. There's our peer support network that's on Facebook, you know, and that connects a lot of us. And really those are more Alaska based rather than Matsu Valley based. Out here, we do have different volunteer opportunities. I'm a big advocate for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. There are so many kids on the waiting list, right, that just need a friend. There are, you know, different volunteer opportunities available. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I would just say, you know, if you have an interest in peer support and you know someone that knows someone that is a peer provider, or is going through peer support training or anything like that, just ask. Get like radically curious about it and see what you can do to help. Everybody is hiring out here for peer support providers, everyone, so if there's any way that you could get your certification, if you have any lived experience at all, just give it a shot. That's what I did.
I was gonna say, if I recall correctly, when you came to my class last year, you like showed up on the fly, which I was not at all disappointed in. I will welcome anybody up to the last day before class starts. And you showed up on the fly and you had so much to say. You had so much to offer your class about your tribal community, about your experience in recovery, about what you hope to see in the future. And I just want to share that everyone has that type of story. It's about being comfortable enough with where you are at now to show up in class and be like, I got this. And even if you don't got it, come to learn enough about yourself so you can use it later.
Yes, please.
You all are valuable to the state and your communities.
Absolutely.
So today, like many other days, you are busy, busy, busy. You went and you've worked with us lately on the peer conference. Today you were teaching yoga and moderating and teaching other things. What's your advice for self-care? Only because I can ask you.
My advice for self-care, make sure that you do something you absolutely are in love with, and not, there are bits and pieces of self-care that are like, go and get your nails done, go and binge Netflix, eat a tub of ice cream. All those things are great things. But how does it make your body feel? How does it make your heart feel? And think about what really makes your heart swell. That big feeling that makes you so happy that your eyes can tear up. And do it at least once a week. Make time for yourself. We're busy people, and in today's world and society, it's like we almost don't feel productive if we're not always busy, and there's a stigma behind that, and that's okay. It's just part of an ever-changing world, but we have to take time to do what we absolutely love. And what I love is nature. So I like to take my dog out. My daughter and I love to walk up and down the river. Good quality time with my kid and laughing is probably the most valuable piece of my life.
It doesn't come cheap.
It doesn't, and even if you're part of a 12-step program, make sure you make time for your program.
Yeah.
Because those days that you don't have enough time or you don't want to show up are the days the messages are sitting there waiting for you, I'm part of a book club, sometimes I read books I don't even really like, but I know that there's people there that I like that are reading the same book, and they might share their perspective and change my whole mind about it. I don't know. There's just so many different things that make us happy that we don't make time for. And that is the opposite of self-care. So just make time for yourself,
Fortunately, this field is especially the peer field, is pretty much built on people who are in love with what they do. Like we totally put our jobs before ourselves because it's a thriving piece of the recovery if we give it. Right. And so we always forget about that piece. And you heard me talk about it in class, and I still run that through the ringer when it comes to teaching about, as much as I love what I do, we are the first and the worst when it comes to taking care of ourselves.
We really are, because we have such a passion for what we do. It's like we do what we love, but we also get burnt out about it.
We also need to check out and put it down.
Right. What do they say? Too much of anything is never good, right? So
too much of anything is never good. All right, darling. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your evening, but I so appreciate you making time for me and everything else you do for this community.
Thank you so much, Jen. It's an honor to be here. I love our conversations always, and reach out anytime.
Absolutely. You take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, take care.